Mary, where shall we go for holidays next year?
I was thinking of a trip on a Mississippi paddle wheeler.
I'm not going all the way to America.
No, this one sails on the River Severn from Gloucester to Worcester. Have a look at the brochure.
It looks very nice. Show me on the map where we are going.
Well, we join the Oliver Cromwell at Gloucester, spend a few days sailing up the River Severn to Worcester, back to Gloucester, then cruise another couple of days on the Gloucester and Sharpness Canal.
That's nice.
Historic Gloucester, the scene in years past of one of the English Civil War's fiercest battles. And Gloucester Docks, a focal point of trade and industry since the 18th century. The Oliver Cromwell, aptly named, and reminiscent of a very different era, this majestic Mississippi-style paddle-wheeler moors on Baker's Quay. The chef Mike Sanders takes a rare break on its galley. He'll soon be busy below deck, feeding 52 mouths as passengers embark onto Britain's largest inland cruising vessel. But before they set sail on the week-long cruise up the River Severn, a welcoming buffet and evening dinner and dance awaits them. Sailing time, Monday morning. The Oliver Cromwell starts its trip upriver to Upton-on-Severn. But first, Captain Graham Thompson must negotiate the 22-foot girth through the Gloucester Lock. The gradient of the River Severn means a downward step through the lock from the docks to the open river. With its authentic maroon and cream colouring, this stern-wheeler would look at home on the mighty Mississippi, but it's been adapted for British waterways and British weather. Passengers enjoy the view on deck as they pass the old grain warehouses, now converted into museums, restaurants and an antique centre to create a focal point to Gloucester's tourist trade. It's a tight squeeze, but Graham, who designed and built the Oliver Cromwell, has been captaining vessels of all shapes and sizes all his life. His inspiration for the Oliver Cromwell came after seeing stern-wheelers on the River Murray in New South Wales during a trip to Australia. His dream to build his own began to take shape at Sharpness Docks in 1993 when he acquired the hull of a Dutch barge and began work from his own design. The authentic style paddles on the stern of this 250-ton vessel are powered by a diesel hydraulic engine. At 8 knots, it isn't full steam ahead for the Oliver Cromwell's 240 horsepower capacity, but Graham must cautiously navigate this difficult stretch of river. The sharpest bend at the Globe Inn, Sandhurst. Vigilant at all times, he knows he must take extra care as the largest vessel on the Severn. Deck games entertain passengers on the tranquil river as they steam towards Upton-on-Severn. Relaxation is the order of the day, with everything geared for a pleasant nostalgia trip. There's mock riverboats gambling sessions, dancing, music and a captain's cocktail party throughout the week. Ironically, history was mirrored even in the naming of the Oliver Cromwell. The final choice came as a result of anti-royal sentiments reminiscent of her namesakes. Graham first approached the Duke of Gloucester, hoping to name her after her home port. When permission was refused, He opted for the name of an historic royal rival instead. Hollywood and America could not claim full glory for the Mississippi stern wheeler. They were first used in Scandinavia as icebreakers. With the wheel positioned at the stern, just on the surface of the water, it avoided floating ice and other debris, and so proved ideal for the job. Turley. Its funnels down as the Oliver Cromwell sails beneath the Hall Bridge. Funnels up again, and it's 8 miles to go until locking up time at Tewkesbury as the gradient in the river changes again. The Cromwell edges into Upper Lode Lock, which lockkeeper Davy Jones has been manning for 25 years until his retirement this year. In recent times, Davy has watched an evolutionary change in the character of the river. No longer is Tewkesbury a passing point of commercial barges carrying cargo such as oil, grain, timber and scrap metal from Avonmouth and Swansea through to Worcester and Stourport. Haulage companies and motorways have taken over, making way for the pleasure craft, which now dominate the river. Monday afternoon, and the Oliver Cromwell sails into a bustling Upton-on-Severn. Mate John Philpott and Graham moor up for the night, before the passengers set foot on dry land to explore this historic town that first became a settlement in the year 897 AD. This late 17th century house in Church Street, now a well-restored restaurant, is one of the oldest in Upton and stands as a reminder of the last bloody battle of the Civil War, which actually took place here in Upton. The old church tower, known as the Bell Tower, is a focal landmark of Upton and now houses the tourist centre for the 13,000 visitors that pass through each year. Many will pause to consider the bravery of a more recent historic figure boasted by Upton, Admiral Sir William George Tennant. Born here, he went on to command the army evacuation in 1940 from the beaches of Dunkirk. He captained the battle cruiser Repulse, sank in 1942 by the Japanese. Then, in 1944, he played a commanding role in the invasion of Normandy. Battle was closer to home for Upton, however, on September the 3rd, 1651, when 12,000 parliamentary troops massed to fight King Charles II and the Scots. Cromwell called it his crowning victory, returning later to Upton to congratulate the survivors and plan his advance. Diggler's Lock, Worcester. Graham Child, lockkeeper, with modern technology at his fingertips. Electronic controlling equipment that first came into use in the 60s takes the elbow grease out of lockkeeping. But it's a sign of the times on the river in more ways than one. In the days when working cargo barges dominated the river, lockkeepers relied on the help of the crew to handle the locks. With the changing face of the river and the advent of pleasure craft, lockkeeping has become a one-man job. The Jewel of Worcester, its cathedral, nestled by the riverside. The Oliver Cromwell beckoned by its chiming bells. Not surprisingly, this Mississippi sternwheeler attracts some attention at Worcester as it moors up for sightseeing and an overnight stop. There's plenty to do and see here, at whatever pace you choose. The narrow canal system starts here in Worcester, with its network branching towards the Midlands and beyond. In the 19th century, the famous Royal Worcester porcelain would have left the city by this route. Next stop, Tewkesbury, and the Oliver Cromwell negotiates the crossways and a sharp turn as the rivers Avon and Severn meet. Tewkesbury Abbey across the meadow. Bustling medieval market town. Hoare Bridge, and time now to move on to Gloucester.
closest to actually visit here is the church. Very, very old church. Tithe barn.
Stopping off en route in the picturesque village of Ashelworth. After a visit to the Boat Inn, a couple of hours to explore the ancient church and tithe barn. This British Waterways crane barge is used to repair riverbanks between Stourport and Sharpness. Westgate Bridge, Gloucester. Midday Thursday, and the passengers watch locking up before they can sail back to Baker's Quay to Morat. There's time to explore this ancient Roman cathedral city. The 900-year-old cathedral is undergoing extensive restoration. Beatrix Potter also brings the tourists to Gloucester. It's 5 o'clock at Ree Bridge, just one of 16 bridges crossing the 16-mile Gloucester and Sharpness Canal, the first ship canal built in Britain. The nautical watering hole at Quedgeley after a Thursday night stopover. Elmore Village. A flying visit to Slimbridge Wildfowl and Wetlands Trust, conservation area and resting place for hundreds of exotic migrant birds, founded by naturalist Sir Peter Scott. And to end the cruise, a nostalgia trip for the Oliver Cromwell and Captain Graham Thompson, who designed and built her here at Sharpness Docks in 1993. The docklands are still in use, but a shadow of the bustling commercial shipping centre it once was. A Spanish ship carrying scrap metal. A Royal Navy mine hunter on a courtesy trip to the docks. The Oliver Cromwell sails back into Gloucester and the 20th century. It's the end of a unique passage of discovery of the Midlands Waterways system and its rich and fascinating past.
enjoy our trip on the paddle wheeler?
Very much.
I thought you would. See these postcards that I bought at each place we stopped?
Very nice. But what have you got in store for me next year?
Well,
Thank you for watching my film. If you liked it, why not subscribe to my channel and hit the like button. Meanwhile, I look forward to meeting you all again next week with a new film for you to enjoy. Bye.